Well, pretty obvious just why we came up on the losing end. You know, I mean, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're older for sure, but we got to be scrappier, we got to be dirtier, we got to be meaner, especially when you're as undermanned as we are. So defensively, did some good things. Obviously, you know, I thought getting them to the free throw line was good at the end, but you know that's a big, strong, tough team. So learn from it and just remember, you know, everything, whether it's putting on weight in the weight room or whatever. I mean, all that stuff matters. So just got to get bigger, stronger, and tougher.
Did you guys put enough pressure on them? Did your guards put enough pressure on them for being an undersized team? Don't you got to kind of run them out of the gym a little bit, go at them a little bit more?
I mean, you can't really run if you don't rebound. You know, you're giving up 25 offensive rebounds. I mean, they shot 35%. We're not a great defensive team. Certainly, we want to be more aggressive and active. But it came down to rebounding the ball. And they had 21 points from the foul line, and we only had 5. You know, so hard to win that way. Really hard.
Coach, we heard Sebastian and KJ talk about transition defense today. Some of the good things they thought there. As far as transition offense, what do you think's been happening there? Is that, you know, as far as where you'd like to see just as, you know, these, especially in these 3 conference games?
Well, we didn't get out on the break much because of the rebounding part of it. You know what I mean? So we need to get certainly better. I think we started to realize, stop shooting mid-range shots versus these giants, drive in there, get to the rim. You know, so it can certainly improve. I didn't think the offense, besides getting to the free throw line more, was the issue. I think it's pretty simple. When you're giving up that many offensive rebounds, it's too hard. You know, they missed it. You know, they missed 40 shots. So we needed, if we rebounded the ball, we got on the break more.
Sebastian's obviously, again, I know what the rebounding is, and he's a starting center, so I don't want to I don't want to coddle the guy, but, like, he is a guy that you've said might have redshirted this year. He went against a very experienced, very skilled big man, and I thought he actually did pretty well today. Would you agree that Sebastian actually played well in the game you guys got out?
Yeah, for sure. I think he's we brought him in as a down-the-road big. I don't think any of us envisioned he'd be starting against Boise State and going against a veteran big, and I thought he held his own and did a lot of good things. He still getting a little tired. I think strength and all that will help him. But we're invested long-term in him because he's got great potential, but because he's coachable, he's an awesome kid, cares about the team. But it's amazing just the way the roles have changed. At the beginning of the year, he's on the bench, and everybody notices the great body language and cheering for his teammates. And now he's thrusted into a starting role. So it is what it is. But this will be really valuable for him this year. And I thought he was really good tonight.
The sense of urgency the last couple of days, coming off of UNLV, KJ Jenkins making the comment that, he wants guys to hate losing, as much as possible. What have you seen as far as the sense of urgency between UNLV and today, and even on the floor tonight with this team?
Yeah, I think they want to win. I think they see what happens when you lose, right? I mean, the crowds get smaller, the enthusiasm gets, that's what we know what this place can be, and I think certainly a pandemic has a lot to do with a lot of this right now. But we want to play in front of a full pit. We saw it early, but you got to win. It's the bottom line. So we will get there. I can't fault the effort. I thought the practices after UNLV were great. I mean, this team can't play without its head coach right now. We're not. Our program is not where it needs to be in order to operate like that. So. Not that I'm the answer to everything, but it's just we kind of need all hands on deck. So they were good. I mean, I was really hard on them after the UNLV game. I didn't like their effort. We haven't been perfect by any means, but nobody's blown us out like that. But, just got to stay positive, keep working. But they've been working. They've been good.
when it comes to making the guys more scrappy, how much of that is on you and your staff, and how much of that is on the players just to put in that scrappiness?
It's all on them. It's not our fault. It's all their fault. No, it's all of us. I mean, there's clearly a reason why they're getting rebounds over us. They're huge, and we're just not huge right now. But I think a lot of it is pushing each other in practice, the right way, and getting stronger and older. Those are old players. We're really, really young. So it takes some time, but they're very, very coachable. Yes, if we're getting out-rebounded by that much, it's on the coaches to do a better job of coaching it, and we'll keep doing that.
I guess, styles make fights, matchups change things, but 1 week ago in the pit, Javonte had 12 field goal attempts, scores 23 points, hit 7 3-pointers. He didn't even take a shot tonight. How much of that was you guys not finding Javonte? How much of that is Javonte not asserting himself?
Probably a little bit of both. Yeah, probably a little bit of both. As what I told the guys after today, I just said, Utah State Javonte made 7 threes. We found him. We're still struggling to find guys, and not us create all the, like obviously House and Mash have their moments where they take bad shots. But who is getting them shots, right? And who's getting Javonte shots? So he should never play a game where he's not shooting. He's a key part. He obviously, when he's going, but all the same plays we ran versus Utah State, we ran versus them. So if a guy doesn't shoot, it's on the other 4 guys to find him. And I think that's got to be the mentality for everybody.
There's one other player I want to ask about. That's Terran Todd. Was there something going on?
No, nothing he did. It's not an attitude thing. I just that 3 spot I'm struggling with offensively. I was maybe going to go with him in the second half, and I just thought, I told Say, I'm like, we got to go KJ. We're not making any shots. So that 3 spot I'm definitely struggling with, because Terran's not a great shooter. Saquon's really struggling shooting the ball. So KJ had 20-something points, 26 points versus UNLV. So we gave up some size for sure, but I thought it was our only chance of someone cutting into the lead.
Coach, after UNLV and then after today, how do you get your team mentally ready for Colorado State?
Back to work. I think they, I kind of took my time and listened to what they were talking about. They're talking about the right things. So, it's going to be a process. We're playing some really good teams. That's a team who's won 8 games. That's a team who could be an at-large team. So we don't get too high. We don't get too low. We have to get them off tomorrow, which is probably good for them mentally. And back to work, Monday and Tuesday. That's it. Keep it simple.
Coach, with Jalen House, you mentioned yesterday what you need from him. You need him to be, a point guard. You need him to be a quarterback. And so in finding that middle ground between, his capabilities as a scorer and those things, what's that process been like as far as finding that happy medium for you and for him?
Well, I think what he's struggling with is the physicality of the game. He's on the floor a lot. And what he needs to realize is refs who see him play are not going to give him calls because he's initiating contact and then falling down. If he'd stay on his feet and be more physical, I think he'd get more calls. So I think his attitude's great. He's going from a role where he was kind of a background guy at Arizona State. He clearly has talent. He's just got to embrace the physicality of the game a little bit more. And he understands that. I mean, he knows it. Because when he's good, he's obviously really good. So he had some, I thought early he was really trying to find guys, a couple turnovers. But I think a lot of that was their size for sure.
You happy you're back?
I am happy I'm back. Yeah, it's it does suck to not be there for sure. And these guys, they are fun to coach. It's great to be back in the pit. Definitely better than watching at home. That's we've kind of accepted just guys being gone, and it's just like part of the norm now. And it's we can't operate right like that right now. So yes. Wasn't fun, but I'm happy to be back.
One more quick one. Jalen Tovar didn't play in the second half at UNLV. I know there's kind of been questions, certainly visibly from fans and media, about what looks like sometimes attitude, but maybe not. And tonight he played a lot of minutes for you guys.
It's amazing. Clear. I mean, Jay knows it. Doesn't have great body language. Gets frustrated often. I mean, it's very, very obvious. It's not. I'm not throwing him under the bus. He's been so good. You know, it was my call to not play him in the second half versus UNLV, because I just want a guy who has great enthusiasm and great body language, and I think he really saw it. I think he really did, and it's just amazing. The last couple of days, me and him have had some great conversations. He's been totally bought in, and he plays better. It's just listen. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but if you just pour yourself into the team and don't worry about anything else, it helps you. It helps the team, and so today was. But the practices leading up to it were really, really good. So I'm not surprised now that he's knocking down threes because the talent's there. He knows it, though. He does. He's not one of those, he doesn't see it. He sees it. So hopefully he can build some momentum off it.